It's great to be here representing Plantronics at the WT12 conference here at Evernote. Plantronics has really enjoyed a close collaboration with WorkTech in the past months, and really, I think, shares kind of that common passion around how can we continue to drive innovation around collaboration, within, I think, an enterprise context. What I'd like to do today, coming from where I come, which is within the information technology group, is really talk about how those technologies can enable, better collaboration, smarter working, a more innovative enterprise culture. And I can talk a little bit about some of the journey, some of the path, and the steps that Plantronics is on to do just that. Plantronics is really a world leader in telecommunications headsets. Great, thanks so much. And over the years, as the technology has really enabled, I think, a stronger set of capabilities to help our customers collaborate, we've really invested ourselves in becoming thought leaders around the collaborative workspace, and that all the elements that really, in our mind, make up a smarter working environment. And what I'll talk about today is really these three pillars of smarter working, from the Plantronics point of view. You see, we talk about bricks, bytes, and behaviors. Again, this is a journey that we've been on as an enterprise for some time now. Our product sets are really enabling a dramatic shift in how people can communicate and work and really live a stronger work-life balance throughout the enterprise. And as part of that, Plantronics had some work to do to really adopt best-of-breed technologies and practices and really kind of leadership skills to be able to drive a smarter working collaborative environment within our enterprise. Again, we're about a 2,000 employee company spread out over Asia Pacific, Europe, and North America. And we went and looked deeply at ourselves and asked ourselves, are we really positioned at this time to support and be able to lead around our environments, the workspaces we provide, the technology that we bring to bear for our internal associates as well as our partners, as well as the behaviors. We decided we really want to go after this and invest in it, and it has been a really exciting journey for us. Again, the bricks, that being, all of our collaborative workspaces have been remodeled and revamped over the years, and I'll talk in a minute about how we're going about that. It's been a really exciting journey for us that really has adopted a much more smarter way of working around how people will collaborate, breaking down the cubicles, allowing for a very diverse set of structures within our buildings for the people who choose to work there to collaborate effectively across projects and different initiatives. The technology, which is where I play a key role, has really been exciting, really driving unified communications, driving more and more of our communications to our desktop, to our mobile devices. Again, has been a journey. It's required some investment, but it really has paid off for us and allowed us to become really a company that allows our associates to work anytime, anywhere. It's no longer a place where you go. Work is what you do. And then also the behavior, very important. The ability, we talked about hierarchies or how enterprises learn to be more innovative. Really spending a fair amount of time and investment in training ourselves to really adopt smarter working practices. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. I think it goes without saying that we really are communicating and collaborating at all times. Whether it be in airports, coffee shops, many of us choose to work in a variety of spaces. And as an enterprise, how do we best support that well, invest in it, get the return on investment with some of the new capabilities, technology, as well as just, I think, the way that people expect to work, but also be able to do that in a fiscally responsible manner that provides, a certain level of security, et cetera, is really the challenge. Again, this is happening everywhere. Work is no longer that place where you go, it's what you do. Many of us expect to be connected at all times. The digital natives, those who are, 0 to 12 years old, really they don't know the difference between being connected or disconnected. So again, how does an enterprise really drive and get value out of these changing elements in our work style across a variety of work styles that are in the environment today? Smarter working is really a brand that Plantronics has embraced over the past several years, driving, again, learnings within our enterprise around how to do this effectively, but also driving some innovation in our products that help us to really understand what other enterprises might be challenged with and how we might be able to help solve what really ends up being, in many ways, the last 3 feet of that communication, that being between your mobile device, between your desktop, your PC, or in a collaborative environment in a conference room, et cetera. Key thing is flexibility. We talked about it, I think, a bit earlier, and it goes without saying. In terms of the environments that we've developed for ourselves, and we really see, as we've studied this problem, best-in-class enterprises going after, is the ability to provide a variety of different collaborative environments within the workspace in the enterprise. The ability to move seamlessly, whether you're a remote worker coming into the office for a day, for an hour, whether it be a project team who wants to collaborate for a short period of time with different project members across the globe. All of the different elements around conference room, lounges, chat rooms, all need to be incorporated into the modern enterprise. And again, it's all about the collaboration and allowing our associates to work how they want, when they choose to be on site. In terms of bytes, the technology that an enterprise can bring to bear to really foster and enable this collaboration is key, and it really is game-changing in terms of how we can support our associates in this regard. The ability, the voice, text, IM, email, video, all being well supported by a strong network, certainly with the Wi-Fi capabilities that support data, voice, and video in the enterprise. It takes a certain amount of investment. It takes some IT know-how, but we feel like we've done a pretty good job, and the results are evident in the real engagement that our employees are showing and reporting on many of our surveys around how they're able to seamlessly contribute, be productive, no matter where they are. A lot has gone into it, but again, I think there's been a very strong return on this. Behaviors, I think maybe the most exciting part of really driving a truly collaborative enterprise, the ability for leadership throughout the organization to embrace whether it be the technology or the smarter working concepts has been key. We talked about maybe old-fashioned hierarchies and the ability to break down those hierarchies to really find the true innovation, to really drive the collaboration in an enterprise, to me has really been one of the most exciting parts of the journey that Plantronics has been on around smarter working. An example is our social platform. We use Jive globally to really drive that Facebook-like collaboration amongst all of our associates across a variety of topics. I think we have currently over 200 different groups that are really collaborating, whether it be on product ideas globally, whether it be on environmental and green issues that we're really trying to drive internally. There's definitely some fun places where people are collaborating. But it's been remarkable to many of us to see the ability and the voice that's been enabled by many people in the organization who otherwise would not have had the ability to ask our CTO that direct question in a very public forum and be able to go back and forth and have really a very realistic and public discussion around a product idea that really before never would have been available. It does drive, and it has driven, I think, a different set of skills for managers and that traditional hierarchy to work within. But again, breaking down some of the artificial hierarchies to make more of a frictionless environment for collaboration is what it's been all about for us. And while it's taken many of us to learn some new skills, to embrace some new technologies, ways of doing things, it really has been worth it for Plantronics. In terms of the IT story, we really look at our population and we segment ourselves in 3 ways. The mobile professionals, these are the folks who are out there, they're on the road all the time. How can we enable them? It's obviously around devices, security, making sure that they're as productive as they can be wherever they are. Combining that with our remote worker, who is a person who comes into the office when they need to, but is often finding themselves working from home or coffee shops or other remote locations, all combined with that office worker who's really on site, but looking for kind of a new, more modern way to collaborate. It was a big part of our strategy, and we wanted to make sure that as we brought new technology to bear, we brought the right technology that would support these folks all, very well with their individual use cases. Again, it goes without saying, more people are off-site. How do we make sure that we can continue to provide effective, technology and IT services for these folks? Certainly making sure that as people drop in, their experience is seamless, that they can be productive, they can get to work, get what they need without any extra friction. Combined with BYOD, that's bring your own device, a very disruptive force for some IT professionals who are really used to having a very strict structure around security and what's supportable. But I think, the modern IT professional is really and needs to really embrace bring your own device. There are new emerging technologies that come to bear that allow you to segue or section off certain parts of the enterprise data on a personal device of any associate's choosing, as well as be able to work right alongside with some of their personal data. And the right decisions that IT professionals can make to support that well really allow people to bring their own devices in, be able to be more productive based on, allowing them to work and how they want to work, and it's really a part of the future and cannot be ignored. The desk phone is really gone. Many people have already said goodbye to the desk phone, and the ability to really embrace the right unified communication strategy, the right products, the right networking to be able to allow us to communicate via our cell phones, obviously, but also via our desktop and PC is really the way of the future, and it has enabled a lot of the extra capabilities around unified communications, that being the ability to work with video, voice, data seamlessly is working well for us. The Wi-Fi network design is going to be critical for any enterprise who wants to go after, truly enabling a new style of work. It's going to be key to be able to support, data, voice, as well as video. We struggled with it. It took a certain amount of investment. Again, making the right decisions early is going to be critical here, but it is paying off. And the ability to go throughout our building and see many people enjoying video conference chats, certainly, collaborating on conference calls all across our Wi-Fi footprint is really rewarding, and it all spells out to me, more productivity, more collaboration. Security can't be ignored. Again, lots of innovation from different companies providing a better story around security, particularly around mobile devices. And again, the ability to segment data, to have the right policies in place so that if someone does lose their mobile device, we have the ability to wipe it clean, manage the right assets that we do need to manage, but also provide that flexibility that our associates are really demanding. It's critical, and it's a big part of this whole story around how we can drive more of this kind of value in the organization. BYOD, again, we talked about that. It's not going away, something that many struggle with, but the ability to really embrace bring your own device and bring your own application are really kind of, some of the key tenets that we as IT professionals are dealing with at this time. But it's an exciting new opportunity, again, to allow people to work how they want, when they want, all within the right framework that keeps those assets safe. And training is key. Really getting the value out of these initiatives really requires the right level of training to make sure that associates have a good awareness of what the objective is of a stronger sense of collaboration, innovation, et cetera. It can't be ignored. And again, it's something I would admit, I think at Plantronics, we're struggling with to really align our workforce around sort of a new set of concepts around how they work. But again, I think we're starting to see, being at this for about 24 months, that we are seeing a fair amount of success as certain groups and pockets of the organization are really embracing these concepts and moving them forward for us. In terms of the ecosystem, we talked about unified communications, that being, the application residing on your desktop or your mobile device that enables teleconferencing, all of your, IMs, chats, being able to support video conferencing as well. Really strong, and it's a growing area within most enterprises. Real opportunity for some cost savings around telecom costs, but also allowing, again, for all of us to work smarter and be able to embrace smarter technologies to get more done. You know, video systems, the collaboration can't be ignored. I think a collaboration strategy is key for any enterprise who's really looking after, you know, kind of moving forward in this area. It has been, I think, a very exciting journey in that regard for Plantronics. And again, it's all about breaking down and modernizing that hierarchical system, allowing employees wherever they are in the enterprise to collaborate, I think to find their voice in a way that they otherwise couldn't do as easily. And so, you know, I think lots to talk about there, but really kind of an exciting place for enterprise, particularly IT professionals, to really drive some new value for our enterprise. It is a team effort. I think it goes without saying that this is certainly a cross-functional problem to solve. You know, facilities certainly with, you know, the smarter bricks, you know, helping us to really define that next generation, very progressive set of working environments, you know, getting away from the cubicles and allowing, you know, for a stronger, more collaborative environment is really key. HR certainly plays a large part in it. Legal, really putting together the policies that allow people to be very flexible in how they work. You know, we talked about bring your own device and elsewhere. Lots of complexity for global companies around how data moves across borders, around security, et cetera. And legal really partnered heavily with IT and HR to make this a reality for us. Finance certainly looks after the investment. And then, you know, the executive team, obviously the leadership, to embrace these tools, to really find the right value and drive them, you know, through the enterprise is critical. You know, to finish up here, you know, it's all about, you know, for us, the bricks, bytes, and behavior. And again, you know, the three pillars, when we think about it, has been a very strong way to organize our thoughts. It's been a strong way to help us to kind of roll out this message, roll out the objectives, and help our associates globally, I think, really rally around this new style of working in a way that otherwise wouldn't have been as effective. You know, the proof always is in the results, and it is working for us. You know, as we look at our employee engagement surveys, anecdotal evidence, you know, it's been very strong that, you know, Plantronics does feel we're moving the needle in terms of our recruiting efforts, the ability to attract and retain talent that we otherwise feel like we might not be able to, is providing us, we think, with a competitive edge that's giving us that return on what has been a pretty significant, but, you know, honestly, a pretty fun and rewarding investment as we've gone through this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.